The stars whispered first, not in words, but in silence, interrupted. I felt it like a tremor in the arcane lattice, an ember pulse from a slumbering giant. Something deep beneath the Blackstone Range had stirred, something ancient, something meant for me. They called it the Forge of Yll'Taran, the last ember of the skysmiths, whose weapons once carved truth into reality. But even fire forgets its name when buried long enough. So I descended, as I always do, into what others fear to remember. Into the stone's breath, into the ancient heart of fire. I wasn't prepared for what waited below, but maybe it was waiting for me all along. I had reached the heart of the mountain. The air burned, the forge breathed, and something was watching. Molten light pulsed across the forge walls, like veins awakening beneath skin. The place wasn't abandoned, it was dormant. Then I felt a sudden pressure in the air, like the mountain itself had exhaled. And then he emerged. Kale Rock, the ember-bound sentinel, obsidian and fury wrapped around a cracked heartstone. He rose not like a beast, but like a purpose reactivated. A guardian born not to kill, but to challenge. We didn't speak. There was no need. His test was forged into his being, and I had come to answer it. We clashed. Magic against flame. Grace against stone. Every strike a conversation between fates long divided. And when my flame didn't falter, he knelt. In that moment, Kyle Rock did not yield because he was defeated. He yielded because I had become the fire he was meant to protect. Beyond the platform, I followed the pulse deeper. The heat was intense with molten lava, but I was determined to retrieve the weapon. The forge was more than a place. It was alive, but fractured, split between memory and silence. And in the silence, I found her. Alyssa Vale, the last intelligence of the skysmiths, a woman made of stars and sorrow, trapped in a loop of dying light. She called me by name before I spoke. She called me the Flamebreaker, and explained to me that she has been waiting across time's burn for someone who still believed. Her voice was soft, fragmented, like listening through stardust, but her message was clear. The weapon was not just for battle, it was for balance, for the war that hadn't begun yet, but was already echoing backward into now. Together, we awoke the forge. Sparks danced, shards rose, time folded like cloth, and I became the anvil and the flame. What we forged wasn't a blade, it was a key, one that would open or end everything. The forge began to unravel, its purpose complete. Its fire spent. Kalrock's glow began to fade, not in failure, but fulfillment. He looked at me one last time, and with a voice older than language said,
Shalyndria, please hear my last wish. Tell the stars we did not forget them.
I carried more than metal back to the surface. I carried memory. Memory of a civilization that shaped the stars. Memory of a guardian who waited lifetimes for a worthy hand. Alyssa faded into the light, her final words still echoing in my thoughts. The war hasn't started, but it remembers you. And so I rose. The forge is gone, the mountain silent once more. But in the silence, I listen for the sound of the stars falling out of rhythm again. When they do, I'll be ready. Because I am Shalyndria, I do not wait for prophecy, I become it.